exactly 8 p.m. sorry, as promised, and we are live, right? So this, if I'm looking at this screen, this is my Instagram screen, and if I'm looking at this screen right here, this is my YouTube screen, right? So we're just going to be flipping through both sessions, but today this is like the very first time we're going to be having a one-on-one with Alfred, right? And I really want to share some of the things that I really thank you, Jupiter, for joining on Instagram. Thank you so much. I really want to be sharing some of the amazing things that I've learned looking back at my journey, and 5 things especially that I wish I knew before I started agriculture. 5 things. So if you're on the call, aside Jupiter on Instagram, I want you to share it on your story. I want you to share it to your closest circle who are in the food and agribusiness industry, or who are just particularly interested in the sector, probably as an investor, as a friend of the sector. Share the video and let the word out. So I'm just going to jump right into the subject without taking much of our time. 5 things that I wish I knew before I ventured into agriculture proper. Now, let me lay this foundation. I want you to understand that before I started, agribusiness as my main path, I studied agriculture in school, and I have an NC in agric education, and with that I got a direct entry into University of Benin, and I have a bachelor's of agriculture in agricultural economics and extension services, right? And so because I have this fundamental background does not really qualify me to delve into the sector proper, right? Some of my colleagues are doing other things with their life, places that they feel called to, right? But then for me, when I got into agriculture proper, like practicing agriculture proper, I looking back at the journey, there were some steps that I took at the initial time. Looking back, I now wish that if I had known better, I would have done it, differently, right? So these are the basic things that I want to share with us. Number one thing that I wish that I knew before I got into agriculture is that agriculture is not farming. As light as this may seem, when I say agriculture is not farming, as light as this may seem, it is actually a very big thing for me. Considering the fact that after school, I got into a paid job, a 9 to 5, and I was a farm manager for 3 years. And working and running that farm for 3 years, and even growing the farm in particular for 3 years, all that was in my head, I was the one calculating the profits. I was the one seeing all the margins. So all that was in my head was that, hey, I can make money from farming. So what I'm going to do when I leave here, I'm just going to set up my own farm. I couldn't see beyond my nose. All that was in my head was just thinking in the line of farming. And when it was time for me to leave and then go and set up my own place and have my own space, guess what? The only thing in my head was farming. And that was a big mistake that I made. And one of the reasons why that was a big mistake, leaving my boss's business as a farm manager and then going into my own private practice as a farmer, now operating as a farmer, wear the coats, the garment of farming with pride as a farmer. Why it is a very big mistake was because I didn't really have enough capital to run the operations of my farming business, and I struggled. I got into debt, like I was owing people. At those times, the internet was not really a big thing. I did crowdfunding, raised money from people. I'm passionate about agriculture, I'm passionate about food production, I'm passionate about farming. And at the end of the day, guys, guess what? I was actually unable to meet up. I was struggling with the cucumber farm at the time. I was struggling with getting inputs, I was struggling with getting seeds, I was struggling with getting labor, and so on and so forth. Now, you may ask me, is it bad to go into farming? No, that's not the point. But from a vantage point, and the resources that I have, that was not the best option for me at the moment. So let me give you a scenario. Now, there's what we call return on investment, and there's what we call return on equity. Now, if I have 10,000 naira, return on investment on 10,000 naira is any amount of money I can make after putting that 10,000 naira into farming. Any amount of money that I make is called return on investment. Now, return on equity is the amount of money that I am able to make, the percentage amount of money that I'm able to make on the 10,000. So return on investment, I can make 1,000 naira back. I will say, oh, I did this business, I made 1,000 naira back. That is 10%. Return on equity says, I did this business and I made 2,000 naira or 2,500. That is return on equity. It's looking at the percentage. So all I would have done at that time, instead of just focusing on farming, considering the fact that my resources are very few, what I would have simply done was to say, okay, analyze my strengths. Do I have time? Obviously I have experience, right? I have network, but do I really have time? Do I have the financial muscle, the capital to really pull this thing off, right? And because I didn't really have those things and I didn't take those things into consideration, I was just moving in with a lot of passion. That got me into a lot of trouble. And at the end of the day, I was unable to fund the farm properly. I was unable to fund operations very well. And you know what it is? The farm failed at the end of the day. And even when I tried to revive the farm with crowdfunding and all of those things, I couldn't really do very, very well. Why? Because I couldn't see beyond my nose. Agriculture is beyond farming, right? There are some key lessons that I wrote here. And one of the key lessons is this, which you can also apply. If I knew better, or if I know what I know now, I would have positioned myself in value chains that are more powerful instead of going into farming proper. Because I don't have the money, not because farming is bad. I need to restate that again. Now, I see you, Sandeep Monda. You say hi. Hi, thank you for joining on YouTube. Now, let me state this. All you see in the agri-food industry, let me break it down for you. All you see in the agri-food industry, you have an off-farm activity. Then you now have an on-farm activity. Then you now have another off-farm activity. These are the three categories that you have, in your farm. Now, listen up. The first off-farm activity that you have in your farm, this is what happens. That first off-farm activity, let me use Nigeria as a case study, or India as a case study, or Brazil as a case study. For people who are joining from India and Brazil, thank you so much. As a case study, right? That is on YouTube. Now, the first off-farm activities are those people who are importing products that you don't have in your country into your country. So they are bringing in hybrid seeds, they are bringing in agrochemicals, they are bringing in different agricultural products or inputs that is required for basic farm operations, right? So these guys are categorized into people who have warehouses, into people who are the major importers, into people who are manufacturers or producers, local manufacturer or producers of pesticides, herbicides, hybrid seeds, if it is livestock for hatcheries, different things that are needed as inputs in your off-farm production, in your on-farm production, right? Check out these companies. These guys are usually way richer and more powerful than farmers themselves and than the farming operation itself. Even though the farming operation is important for food production, even though the farming operation is the foundation where everybody is trying to invest and get value from, however, these guys are better positioned and better placed. Now, the next thing I want you to take note of is that I didn't learn, knowing that agriculture is not just farming, is time. In timing, we call it gestation period. Thank you, Anita Oke, for joining from Ugele. I'll be in Ugele on Monday for a training on fish farming and poultry. I'll be in Ugele on Monday. If you can send me a message much later, I'm going to send you the address of the training. It's organized by Grand Cereals, producers of Vital Feed. So let's get right in. Now watch this. What I'm trying to say is that the business cycle of farmers is usually too long. Let me give you a properly example. A fish farmer may take between 5 months to 9 months to raise a table size fish, right? From the point of stocking that fish to the point of harvesting that fish. 5 entire months. Somebody who's operating off-farm activities, like the middlemen, people who come to the farm and buy, they make way more money than the fish farmers themselves. Now, the question you might want to ask is why? It is because their business cycle is short. Now, a business cycle simply means, let me flip it, literally, gestation period. Like the point where you stock to the point where you harvest is one business cycle for the farmer. The point where the middleman comes to the farm to buy and the point where the middleman takes it to the market to sell, that is one business cycle for the middleman, right? So that middleman or the market women who will come to your farm and buy your fish and buy your birds and buy your maize and buy whatever that you sell, these guys have a shorter business cycle. And what that means is that if they are able to do their turnover under their revenue or their capital that they have, and they are able to make just 10,000 naira a day as revenue, just 10,000 naira a day, guess what? By the time you are producing in your minimum 5 months period, which is about 150 days averagely, these guys would have grossed a revenue of 1.5 million. And if you are raising for 9 months, they are grossing almost 3 million naira. While you as a farmer, you are raising that bed for about, or that fish for about 5 to 9 months, and at the end of the day, you are not going to make as much as the middleman. So I didn't really know that. If I knew that, what I would have simply done was that I would have first of all built my access to market component, because access to market controls the entire value chain. It controls the market. Access to market determines how much money we need for the agricultural production. Access to market determines the quality of products and the seeds that we're going to use. Access to market determines the numbers of labor that we need in the farm. It determines the scale of production. Access to market is everything. It is what holds the market in shape, right? If I had known, I would have gone to build my access to market component of the business with the little resources that I have. If I built the access to market component with the little resources that I have, at the end of the day, I would have been able to backwardly integrate into farming and then use farming as a platform or a baseline for funding or powering or sustaining my access to market components, right? So if I had known this basic thing that, oh, the shorter my business cycle, the more money I make, because I'm able to turn over at a short period of time, and then I'm able to make more money, right? While the longer the business cycle, the less money I make. I would have been able to know that with these little resources that I had at the beginning of my career, I want to use these resources to optimal level. So I will start from the access to market component by going to farms, buying their product, taking it to the market and selling it. And then when I build enough revenue or capital base from that, I am simply going to backwardly integrate into owning the farm to have a cheaper cost supplied to the markets directly from my end and make more profit or more margin at that end. I wish I knew this before I started agriculture, right? Thank you, Mr. Victory, for joining. I wish I knew this before I started agriculture. So that's why I said that agriculture is not just farming. I would have started from other points, considering my competitive advantage. Do I have money? Do I have time? Do I have experience? Those are 3 critical things or questions I would have asked myself. And if I have these 3 critical things or questions sorted out, I would have been able to say, oh no, for my strength right now, for my capacity right now, this is what I am supposed to be doing with the resources, with the time and the experience that I have. So trust me, this is one fundamental lesson that you need to learn. Now, what is the takeaway point for you in this? Do not jump into farming if you do not have enough capital. Money is not even enough in the first place, right? Farming is called the blind spot. But if you don't have enough capital, don't just jump into farming, right? Don't jump into farming. Just look at your strengths in terms of experience, in terms of capital base, and in terms of time. You know, when you set up a farm venture in Africa, it's like a spot for thieves. People are just looking at it that, how can I make money from these guys? Your staff may be closing in on you to see how much money they can make. Other people in your environment may also be closing in on you to see how much they can make. So you need to know that you need time, you need to be on ground, you need to be available to be able to run a successful farm. You need to have experience and you need to have money. Farming is not for poor people. You need to have money, because without money you cannot fund your operations. You will struggle. You'll be looking for where to borrow money to buy feed, where to borrow money to buy agrochemicals. You need to sort out your economics of production. Economics of production is simply a budget that says that I will need 10 million naira to fund the operation. In the first 2 months, I will need the first 2 million naira. In the next 1 month, I will need another 3 million naira. In the next 2 months, I will need another 4 million naira. In the next 4 months, I will need another 1 million naira. That's your economics of production. So what you are now doing as a wise person is to simply schedule when you are going to need the money so that you can plan your finances accordingly, right? If I had known that, I wouldn't have gotten into debt. I wouldn't have gotten into mistakes at the beginning of my career, right? And this applies across board, especially for those that are coming in from India and those that are coming in from Brazil. Pretty much our economy are developing nations, right? And so we're moving to first world, right? And this is almost, the same case across board. So let's look at the second thing I wish I knew. The second thing I wish I knew. The second thing I wish I knew before venturing into agriculture was, I wish that I knew that visibility is half of the work done. I wish I knew that visibility is half of the work done. Now, this is the point. There's a saying that says the squeaky wheels, those wheels that does quang, 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 the squeaky wheels get the grease. The squeaky wheels get the grease. What does that mean? The people who are making noise about it, the people who are advocating about it, the people who are championing the cause of food security, of zero hunger, of all of those things are the people who other observers are paying attention to and bringing resources to, right? So I usually say this everywhere. If you, for example, you are setting up a fish farm, or you're setting up an agribusiness, whatever agribusiness it is, right? Whatever agribusiness, whether it is farming, whether it is distribution and supply chain, whether it is access to market components, whether it is processing or agro manufacturing, whatever sector that you function in, just know this. If you produce your product or you are running your farming operation, if doing that work is only 50% of the work done, announcing that work that you have just done, that hey, everybody come and see, this is the work that I do, is the other 50% of the work done. So guess what? In the agricultural sector, in fact, I want to use the agri-food sector, meaning agriculture and food sector, right? What is happening is that a lot of development organizations are funding different people from different nations, right, all across Africa. So I want to use developing nations, for example. All across Africa, majority of all the aids that we are seeing, even things from the government that is coming in as intervention, that is coming from development organizations as intervention, they are going to the people who are making the noise. So you will find out that the poor farmers who the intervention was planned with them in mind actually do not benefit from these interventions, simply because they are not making the right noise in the right channels, right? So you, as an investor in the sector or in the agri-food space, you need to know that you need to make the right noise in the right place. People need to see you. If they don't see you, you are winking in the dark. And if you are winking in the dark, there is no reward that is coming to you. So in essence, what I'm trying to say is this: if you, as a farmer, you produce fish, you produce poultry, you produce maize, you produce yam, whatever it is that you do, as you harvest, you are selling your product and you are making your money, and you are announcing it to the whole world. Oh, we are harvesting. Oh, they are clearing the farm. Oh, they are manufacturing something. Oh, we just sprayed yesterday. Oh, this is the challenge that we are experiencing in the farm. Tell your story. Tell your story. It is only the visible people, the people that are being seen, that are paid. They are the people that are rewarded. All across Africa and all the other developing nations across the world, especially for those in India and Brazil, guess what? Developmental organizations and government are funding people that they think have influence. And because they are funding people that they think have influence to different parts of the globe to go and learn technology transfer, knowledge transfer, different things, and bring it back to their country and use their influence to step down these trainings, that can be you in your rural community in Niger Delta. That can be you championing for a cause in Niger Delta that, hey, our lands are polluted and so we cannot grow cassava and we cannot grow crops. And this is as a result of environmental pollution or climate change. Listen up, guys. The squeaky wheels get the grease. The squeaky wheels get the grease. The squeaky wheels get the grease. It is as important as the word. So anything you do right now in 2024, if you don't post it online, if you don't showcase this thing, if you don't pay a token and go on radio to talk about it, just for the fun of talking about what you do, and then put it on live video like this and come out and say, hello everyone, this is what we are doing, this is how we are doing it, these are the challenges that we are facing, this is the success rate that we have gotten and the success we have made. Trust me, guys, you are changing yourself. The potential of what you are supposed to make or get from that particular activity that you are doing, you have reduced it by a entire 50%. Because in life, all the people who know you right now are way fewer or smaller than the people that you will ever meet. The people that you will meet are way more than the people that you know or that are connected with you right now. So what you need to do is to launch into the deep by leveraging on the internet. It is a leveler. Be visible. Be visible, especially to the right channels. Be visible to international organizations. Be visible to the government. Be visible to other actors or other players in your sector. Let them know your name before they meet you, right? So all these things I'm doing right now, they are all intentional, because most of you do not know that in my own way and in my own community and places that I'm coming from, I have won. I'm a success story. I'm a role model. In my own place that I'm coming from, I have results, right? But if I don't bring that out to show you and to show the world that, hey, this is how we are transforming life, by building the capacity of smallholder farmers, by enabling that these guys have compliance with climate smart agriculture, you are not going to know me. There's no way I can get an invitation from India. I have somebody here from India. I have somebody here from Brazil. There's no way I can get an invitation. But just through the internet, with my advocacy, with thoughts, when they feel my idea, the strength of my ideas, when they feel the passion that is burning inside me, you know, dropping off ideas, guess what? Oh, there's a young man I see in Nigeria. This guy is doing XYZ. I think we need to hear his voice and for him to be able to motivate people in Ghana, in Cameroon, in Sierra Leone, right? If you check right now, Agra is doing something, a summit right now. There are people who are funded free of charge. The question is why? Why did they fund them? It's not because they know the order at the top. Influence matters. Influence matters. So in agriculture, one of the things that I lacked at that time, 2016, 2015, 2014, one of the things that I lacked was that I lacked visibility. Listen up, guys. I did my IT as a student of agriculture. Like, we have a 1-year industrial training, right? I did my IT in 94. So for those who are not Nigerian, 94 is the Nigerian 94 is Nigerian Oil Palm Research Institute, in the Nigerian Institute for Oil Palm Research. That's the meaning of 94, right? Nigerian Institute for Oil Palm Research, 94. I also did my industrial training in the RIN, Rubber Research Institute of Nigeria. I also did my IT in Crane, Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, right? So these 3 research institutes. Now, guess what? At the time, this was way back in 2012. So we're talking about or 2011. So we're talking about maybe 13 years. Now, at the time, I had a lot of photographs and pictures that I took. You know, they were in my laptop. I had over 1,000 or 2,000 pictures. I'm not even exaggerating, that I took at the time, you know, with BlackBerry phones and all of that were in vogue at the time. And I had them on my laptop. And there was a time that I uploaded some of them on Facebook. I even had to create folders for them. Guess what? It got to a point, I felt like, no, my Facebook page has to be neat. It has to be in the right shape. And I deleted all of those pictures. And looking back now, I am regretting those actions. I am regretting those actions. Do you know why? If people come on my page and they see that this guy has been inside that room where they are carrying that genetics operation for the development of a new or a hybrid seed in oil palm, and I am talking about oil palm, you know that this guy has a one-on-one touch with industry experience. Be visible. Be visible. Don't go and delete. See, your failures today, they are success story for tomorrow. So when you hear big people or big men who are talking about how they fail, you see how you are able to connect with the story because you can find yourself in their story, in their journey, right? Your failures today are big success story tomorrow. So when you hear big and successful people talk about their stories and how they struggle, you pay attention, you listen, you see their toughness, their resilience, you know, their persistence in the game, their thick skin in the game. Why? They failed at the time. It was shameful at the time. It gave them sleepless nights at the time. But guess what? Because they have been successful, they now have to tell that story in a way that inspires others. Your failure is not actually a failure. It is a success in disguise. Because it is going to even shape your future and fuel your future and drag other people to be connected to you. So be visible. Be visible. That's the entire essence of what I just said. Be visible. Let other people be drawn towards you. Anytime you do a work, make noise about it. Shout about it. You know, holla, let everybody see you, know you, hear you, and know you for that particular success or failure that you have done. Right? So the next thing I want you to look at is relationship. Building critical relationship. Even till now, one of the things that I wish I knew before getting into agriculture is building critical relationship. Now, let me say this. All the biggest jobs I have ever gotten in my life were not initiated by me. It was sent to me by a colleague, by a friend, by somebody. Just send me a WhatsApp message. Boom. Bro, I think you are qualified for this thing. Apply. Bro, I know your capacity. I think you are good and you are qualified for this thing. Apply. And that was how I got some of the biggest jobs in my career. Relationship matters. Build relationship with people that you are going to in the same direction. We talked about building network. We talked about how to build network on our episode on Instagram, for those that are on YouTube. On our episode on Instagram in the last live that we did last week Friday. But let me tell you, the question is, how can you build critical relationship? How can you build critical relationship? That's the question. Now, the first way you can build critical relationship is by attending events, attending conferences, physical events, physical conferences, physical trainings, and network in those places. It may be a business event, it may not be an agricultural event, it may be an agricultural conference. Attend those events, connect with people. When I started my live series, the first people I brought were all people I met at an event. These were not guys that were even living, in the state that I reside in. I was bringing people from other places. Why? I have been able to connect myself with them just by meeting them in different places. So what you can do as an actor, which is one of the things that I regretted when I did that time, I was too quiet, I was too reserved, I was building in silence. Don't build in silence. Connect with other people. Hi, Mr. John. He's sitting close to you in that conference. He's sitting next to you. Even you are live, you are looking at some people's handle that are joining the live. Check out their page. Check out their page. What is this guy doing? Oh, send them a DM. Oh, I love what you are doing, bro. I've been following your work for some time. I see that you are doing amazingly well. Can we have a chat over, for me to get to know you better? Reach out to people. Some of the people I've even invited to my life, I have never met them once. And because I connected with them via DM, which is online networking now, or building relationship online, and because I connected with them via DM, we're able to talk. These guys are on my WhatsApp. We have a closer relationship on WhatsApp. I'm able to see some personal information that is uploaded on their WhatsApp status, right? So you as a person, listen up. Build relationship with other people. You are not too much. You are made by men and for men. Connect with other people. When you go for conferences, you go for events, connect with people. Connect with people, tell them what you do. Hi, I'm Alfred, I'm an agribusiness expert. And part of what I do is to build the capacity of people on the core of agribusiness, making money from this thing. So I'm not all about the fancy agriculture and we're posting pictures and videos online that we are farmers or we are doing something. Are we really making money? That is my message. And I talk about climate. That's my message. So if you're talking about climate smart agriculture, you're talking about agribusiness, there you go. Alfred is the go-to guy, right? And he can say, oh, this is what I do. I'm not trying to be a greenhouse person. I'm not trying to be a drone farmer. I'm not trying to be any other thing. My core is that whatever you do in agriculture, you are doing processing, you are doing manufacturing, you are doing anything. All I simply want to do is optimize your process and make you make more money. That's my job. So I don't have to copy nobody, because some of us, when we get into some space, all you want to do is that you see Alfred doing this, that's what you want to start doing. Next month, you go for another event, you are inspired by what somebody else is doing, that's what you want to start doing. The upper month, you go for another event, you are connected. So instead of you to build viable relationship with people and connect with them truly from the heart, you are beginning to now build enemies, because every single time you see what they do, you try to float, a similar idea on your own page. Build critical relationships. Relationship will give you industry information that you are not privy to. Relationship will unlock doors to the dream, that prayer that you have been praying for. Relationship will unlock that door for you to get into that door, right? So build critical relationship. If I knew, I would have built critical relationship. Now, let me talk about some of the critical relationship that you even need to build. Yes, one of the critical relationship that you need to build is to build relationship with industries. So industries here means people who buy agricultural products. When I will talk about documentation, you will understand this proper. But people who buy agricultural products, one of the critical things that you need to do as a person is that, one, go to their office directly, send them an email or a physical letter. Go to their office directly. When you get to their office, connect with them, ask them what they do, ask them their requirements, ask them if they are willing to buy from you at a particular point in price, exchange numbers, and keep in touch with those guys. That's you building a critical relationship. That's one. Number two, you can approach NGOs all by yourself. And that's not a guarantee that you're even going to get into those NGOs. But it's a guarantee that you will exchange number or contact with somebody that you will now pop up in their radar. There's an NGO that's called Pink Foundation in Nigeria, in the Niger Delta in Nigeria, right? One of the things, even after connecting with one of their staff, one of the things that he did for me was that I connected with him on Facebook. And as he was seeing my job, he was seeing that, oh, this guy is properly fit for what we do. And this guy can actually work with us in this and this area. So connect with people online, offline. Build critical relationships with people. Connect with them, chat them up, say hello, how are you doing, sir? Oh, I'm glad. In fact, let me say that, yeah, especially on Instagram. I connected with two people, Dr. Shegu and Victory Gelubo. I connected with Victory in 2022. I connected with Dr. Shegu in 2023. And the relationship is on another dimension, right? These are people that I now feel like, oh, I trust these guys. I trust them. These are people that I now value. I now say that, oh, in my network, in addition to people that I have and I call friends, the Mr. Namdis, which are more of my guys, the people that I call friends, let me not start mentioning them. I now see that, oh, I've been able to add one or two core persons. And I trust that these guys will be able to put in a word for me in any room that they are, at any level and any capacity. And they trust that I will deliver. That's you building relationship right there. There's somebody else, sorry I mentioned him earlier, I don't want to even mention, there's somebody else that still contacted me, that, bro, man, I see what you are doing. There's this stuff that is going on in this location. Would you like to be a part of it? And I was like, whoa, I'm ready. I'm good to go. I would like to be a part of it. If I am not connected with these guys, they will not see my work. If I don't see my work, if they don't see my work, I am winking in the dark. I don't get called on. So build critical relationship. I cannot overemphasize that, right? Be in the private lives of people. Care about people. The life is about other people. Care about them. The next thing I wish that I knew is that, which is number 4 point now, is that I wish that I have built enough capacity at the point where I was leaving my boss to start up my own. Yeah. In this game of agribusiness, you have to study. No, there's no wishy-washy about it. Oh, I don't want to go to school. Oh, I don't like to go to school, and so on and so forth. You have to study. See, let me tell you, agriculture, or technical agriculture as the word is a function of biology and chemistry. If you don't understand it, you are likely not to be a successful farmer in this life. If you don't understand it, anything that anybody tells you will go. Anything that anybody tells you will go. Anything that anybody tells you will go. Right? So you need to understand that building your own personal capacity, knowing your onions, your ability to deliver, when they call on you that, oh, we need an agribusiness expert, we need an agribusiness coach, we need a facilitator, who is the go-to guy? They should mention an Alfred. That this guy is the guy that can optimize operation, this guy is the guy that can save costs, this guy is the guy that can make sure that we have profit and can come up with strategic ideas on market penetration. Right? You need to know. And how do you know? How do you know? You research, you find out. Let me also say this. All the problems we are facing, even the brain fag we are having, ideas we are looking for, they have all been solved. These things are in our bookshelf in the university. Go there. You will see climate smart financing options for climate smart agriculture. But they gave it to you as a task in that development organization, and you are struggling with it. Why? Because you are not abreast with your industry. How many times have you read reports? USAID post a report about a particular thing. Let's say they post a report on the last one I downloaded, private sector engagement, and every other organization who are working with them are now trying to engage a private sector specialist in order for them to drive maybe capacity building, grant writing, pitch deck, loans or finances, and at the end of the day, you are lost. You don't even know that M&E has become a very big thing and a big tool in the sector. And now, no matter what we do in the agricultural sector, we make sure that monitoring, evaluation, and learning is a key part of it, so that we can know what people need and we can make effective decisions. You don't even know that data analysis is now a big thing in the industry, and so you don't skill up, you don't level up. Right? So some of us, as you're on this life, you need to go back to school. And the school can be formal or informal. You can learn it from somebody else. It doesn't have to be a formal school. Some of us need to go back to school. You need to build capacity. You need to know your onions. When they call on you for a particular thing, you need to be able to deliver on that subject. You need to go there with your full chest and say, I came with my all. And if I can't, I have my goons that I can put on call and say, bro, I'm confused about something. Can you give me an idea on this thing? And they will give you. Build capacity. You will see farmers trying to cure an acidic medium, which is a pond that is acidic. They will tell them to go and get poultry manure. Fresh poultry manure is acidic. But if you understand your biology and your chemistry, you will be able to know that no, an acidic medium cannot cure an acidic medium. It's only an alkaline medium that can neutralize an acidic medium, right? So these are some of the things that you need to know. Build capacity. I have read more books since I graduated compared to when I went to school all my life. Read books. It does not have to be just on agriculture alone. Read books on financial management. How many of us can vividly hit our chest that in this agribusiness that we are running, we'll be able to buy a duplex from it? How many of us can hit our chest that we'll be able to buy our next office building or a 10-acre land? We are buying it from the proceeds of our business. How many of us even understand that we need to be saving from the profit from our agribusiness? We need to be saving some part and setting it aside. How many of us know that sometimes we need to invest in R&D? Bro, you have to what? Build capacity. Build capacity. You need to study. You need to study. See, make it as a core value, as a lifelong thing that, you know what, I'm just going to be someone who is going to study. There's a way John Obidi says this thing. Every time he explains, the race is not to the swift, neither is it to the strong, nor bread to men of wisdom. Listen up, guys. Life is built with trends. That's what life is built on. Trends. And the Bible called trends times and season. That's what the Bible called trends, times and season. Who is able to cash in on trends is the person that harvests the most out of it. Let me give you an example. Blockbuster. You know when they say this movie is a blockbuster movie, this movie is a blockbuster movie. Blockbuster was a platform like Netflix. But at the end of the day, Blockbuster launched at the time that the market was not ripe for it, because they started as a rental, and after being a rental, they moved from being a rental into the internet age, right? And when they moved into the internet age, they were unable to take advantage and employ the right personnel and the right skilled people to harness the market, right? And Netflix just came from behind, understanding the trend and shaped the culture for the trend, and boom, Netflix is the go-to person in the industry, right? Follow trends. This is the same thing that happened between Zoom and Skype. Skype has been there way long. Skype has been there long enough, but a wind blew, a trend came, a time and a season came, and Zoom came from nowhere after years of Skype operating in the space, and boom, they took it away from everybody. Now you are seeing guys doing soilless farming. Now you are seeing people do drone agriculture. Don't go and copy them. Look for the next level. Look for the next thing. In the next 10 years, ask yourself this fundamental question. In the next 10 years, what is not going to change? What is not going to change? Guess what? Infrastructure is not going to change in the next 10 years. Every time you build solid infrastructure, they are going to last in the next 10 years. So you need to be thinking now, do I need a heavy-duty equipment company that is going to be handling agricultural operations, since Nigeria and Nigerians are finding it difficult to do large-scale agricultural production? Should I now invest in this kind of company, build a reputation around this kind of company, and then in 2050, a government can come and say, oh, we want to cut down costs, we don't intend to buy tractors, all we want to partner with Alfred and Sons Limited, and then we want to open up some vast lands for our farmers to farm free of charge, and they contract the company and they save costs on maintaining tractor, buying tractor, all the fraud in the process. They just pay one vendor and the vendor delivers, right? So you need to begin to think, what is not going to change? Increase in food production is not going to change. If increase in food production is not going to change, what other things are needed at the time? Cold storage is needed. Cold chain transportation is needed. How are you thinking? Don't try to copy what the other people are using to shine right now. In 5 years, in 10 years, some of those trends will fade away. A new time and a new season is going to unlock itself. It's going to ripen up. How are you preparing to harvest those new times and new seasons? Don't copy Alfred. Don't copy the other people. That's their time. They are shining with it. The idea is awesome. Everybody is embracing it right now. You look for the next level thing that you are going to unlock. Everybody is doing app. Want to do app for farmers, app for this, app for that, app for that. And when the trend went away, thank you, real estate, right? There are things that are not going to change. Go and position yourself there. Go and position yourself there. Angie, I think you are in touch with information, right? See what Angie wrote here. He said, community gardens. USAID is now interested in horticulture. Horticulture is all the gardens, all the flower, all the tomatoes, all the pepper, all the vegetables, and these are some things that attention has not been paid to for a long time. Now imagine the billions of dollars that is going to be pumped into it, and some of us are not even privy to the information yet that this is the next level strategic investment that we want to do in Nigeria and some parts of Africa. That horticulture is going to be the go-to place, right? So you need to be strategic. Times and season. Unlock the next level trend. Oh, stop dancing to the music of other people. I want to copy this. This is what is raining now. I want to learn this. Some of you don't even leave events alone. You're just copying people. You cannot grow that way, right? So build capacity. Know your onions. Be grounded in your onions. And the next thing, after you are grounded in your onion, go deeper. Go to the origin of a thing and unlock it from there. Look at it. Oh, this agriculture that we are doing, this guy is the one holding this side. This guy is the one holding this side. This guy is the one holding this side. Which side would I hold? And don't let anybody bully you that, oh, no mind, I don't be practical farmer, it does not have a farm. You actually do not need to have a farm to be an advocate. You actually do not need to have a farm to be an investor. All those are myopic talk for the masses, right? How Agroscience, they have a lot of money. How many farms do they have? A lot of money. Look at Jubilee Agro Services. How many farms do they have? Look at Agritel, all the multinational companies that are billionaire companies. Look at all of them. How much do they have? You need to be strategic. You need to think. You need to build capacity. What is not going to change? And start to unlock opportunities for self. Position yourself. Position yourself far ahead of time. Far ahead of time. Stop competing with people with smallness and small discussions that are talking about, oh, this is not a practical farmer. And when you go to their own farms, they are not practicing any sustainable practice there. Move aside those conversations. Follow the money. Follow the money. You are in for the money. Follow the money. That's what you are in for. You're not in agriculture to come and snap pictures to tell people that you are running a farm. That's not it. To go to one training and they serve you tea break and lunch and you think that you are happy. Follow the money. How are you going to buy these Benz, man? How are you going to build this duplex? How are you going to conquer this region? How are you going to acquire a new 2-story office duplex for yourself from this thing that you are doing? Some of us will never make it if we run with the way we are running right now. And that's why I believe that God has put some of us here to shift you into your destiny. If not, when are you going to make a billionaire from this agriculture? If I look at the sector or the value chain that you are operating in, who has a billionaire net worth? If it is too small for your dream, move out of that place and go to somewhere that can accommodate your dream. Oh, I want to be the manufacturer of an organic pesticide. I received this idea for my dream. Oh, I saw it in the shelf in one university. I just decided to Google new inventions in agriculture. And I saw that they are doing this thing in India. I want to replicate it before it quickly gets here. Right? Those are things that you can do. Jump on trends. Follow the next tide. In fact, I make bold to say you can be the next guys who are looking at climate change and say, you know what? We are going to be preparing lab chicken and lab beef. And this is going to be organic, both for vegetarians, both for other people. Anybody can consume it, right? Jump on trends, man. And the only way you can do that is to be abreast with the information. You need to build capacity. I can't overemphasize that. And lastly, I want to say here today is I want you to document yourself properly. You and your company, document yourself properly. So there are some things I wrote here that I want you to take note of today. Do you have a profile? If I call you now, I have a gig for you now. Do you have a profile, a company profile, or a personal profile that you can send to me? I just call you that, oh, I'm in this room right now, and we're about to make a decision on some of the persons that we need to do XYZ job. Please, can you send me a profile of your company or your personal profile for this speaking engagement? Do you have one? And it's not a bad thing if you don't have one, but thank God that you are here today. From today, go and develop one. That's you documenting yourself properly. That's you articulating your industry achievement, articulating your expertise, articulating your experience, and saying, this is who I am in this industry, and this is what I've been able to achieve in this industry, and this is my qualification. That's why you can document your bragging rights. State the portfolio where you have featured at. Platforms are featured on. I'm featured on LinkedIn. I'm featured on DSTV. I'm featured on XYZ platform. I've been able to train 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 farmers across 53 states, across 20 states, across 4 nations. I've been able to do XYZ in the industry. Do you have a personal profile or a corporate profile? If you don't have one, this is a call today for you to go and get one. The next thing is, do you have a social media footprint? You have a social media footprint. When I come to your page, do I just see you just enjoying as a fine boy, going to malls, going to malls, following big boys around town? If I come to your page, I want to see your industry. And in this case, we're talking about agriculture or agribusiness. I want to see your industry. I want to see you talk about that thing that you do. It's not about you coming to a fine boy. This is not no fine boy era. We want to see that you are sold out to this cause, so that when we are trying to convince somebody that, oh, this person is this, or this person is that, or this person is that, or when the person visits your page, Lobaton, this guy is into it. There's no story about it, right? This is end of story just by being on your page. There's nobody in the world that personally, Alfred, me that just started to be intentional online just some months ago. You can imagine the number of people that have known me in Nigeria. Just some months ago, I just started being intentional on my own personal brand just some months ago, right? There's nobody in the world who will visit my page that Alfred is trying to do something in food and agriculture, and then the person visits my page and will not be convinced, because I'm driving the conversations, right? Have a social media footprint. Actually, I'm doing way more behind you are seeing on the internet. You need money to do all of this, and I'm not making the money from here. So where am I making it from, right? And I've not been able to interpret all of that, meaning I still have a lot of value to put out there to show people, to point out to people, to give them directions, right? So I need you to go home and say, I'm going to be intentional about my social media. I'm going to put myself out there and communicate myself in the right perception in the mind of people, so that when they think of me, when I come to mind, or there is an opportunity in a particular space, I will come to mind. My name will come to mind. I will be mentioned. It is very, very important and very, very critical, right? That's another thing. The next thing is a website. A website. Do you have a website for your company? Website, 60K, 80K, you'll be able to create a website. Do you have one for your company? If you don't, this is a notch for you. Pay little by little. Contact that website designer. Tell the guy, I just need to put XYZ there. It does not have to be fantastic. It does not have to have a payment gateway. It's just to give you a brand and a visibility. Let me share this, and this is a true life story. I supply inputs. I have a warehouse where I sell feeds in Warri Delta State, right? I supply inputs. And because I supply inputs, there's this job that I was bidding for with somebody to import a particular equipment into Nigeria. And then I was recommended in that boardroom in Lekki, and then a female also was also recommended. Now they went to check my own space and they found out that my website has been down. And me, I was thinking that I just pay for this website for almost 4 years and nothing is coming out. I beg, is down. This is a recent conversation, right? And then they visited the other lady's phone and they saw that our website was up. And then the two email correspondence, I am using a Alfred Ukane at Gmail. She's using her own email at our organization name. And they found that more worthy and professional. If not for God, I wouldn't have gotten the gig. That's what we're talking about. Because the people that you want to connect with abroad, America, different places in the world, they don't know you. It's what you show them on the internet. Your website is your office on the internet. If your office looks tacky or you don't have an office, nobody is going to take you seriously. Nobody is going to take you seriously. So they need you to have an office space, somewhere they can come to and trace you, right? So you need to have a website. The next thing I want to talk on quickly is, have you registered your company? If you have not already done that, send me a DM right away. If you have not done that, I can get that done for you. Send me a DM. Register your company as a business name. In fact, I make bold to say you must have two forms of company. You must have a business name and a limited liability company. And for each of them, you are going to have a TIN number. TIN is called tax identification number. You are going to have a TIN for each of them. So you have a company name, you have a TIN, then you use both your CSC document if you're in Nigeria or the regulatory body in your country, and you use your TIN to go and open a formal bank account that is bearing the name of your company. Now, if you do that, you have properly documented yourself. The next thing you need to do is to run all your financial transactions through your company, right? Now, another thing you need to have is a letterhead, in case you don't have that. You cannot try to write a letter to Saro or Jubaili or a particular agro manufacturing company for a particular gig or collaboration, and there's not coming in your letterhead, whether physical or virtual. It has to come in your letterhead. Let everything about you speak excellence. Let it be branded. Let it speak excellence. When you submit the letter and they read it, they have never met you, they don't know you, the next thing they want to do is Google. When they Google you, they will see works, and the next thing, you think this guy is up to the task, right? So you need to have a letterhead. Then if you are functioning in the food industry or whatever industry, you need to go and get other regulatory things that are needed. So if you are into products, you can get NAFDAC certification, you can get SON certification, and if you need help with any of that, you can contact me, right? You need all of that to document yourself properly. So these are some of the things that I wish I knew before I ventured into agriculture, so that I would have maximized the opportunity, that I had at the time with the little resources, and I believe that I will be farther than where I am right now. So thank you everyone on the call for listening, everyone on YouTube. This is 54 minutes, 30 seconds, and everyone on Instagram, right? So at this point, I would like to take some few questions, and then, if we can call it a day. I actually plan to do this in 1 hour, right? And I don't intend to take more than your time. So if you have any question for me, I would like to take your questions and then we can call it a day. However, I want to thank Anita Ukane. I don't know if I know you in person, but please send me a DM or a message and let us connect, right? Anita Ukane, she said joining from Ughelli Delta State, and she also wrote be visible. She said don't build in silence and build critical relationships. Thank you so much for re-echoing what I said. That's on YouTube. And then Sandeep Mondal from India said money problem, sir. All right, Sandeep, we can connect. Send me a DM or a message and let's connect, and then we can talk more about the money problems, right? And Mary Ondua of North from YouTube says it's my Brazilian wax day today. That's what she said. And then Reza Motezi says, she just puts the bone icon. Thank you everyone on YouTube for joining. So from my Instagram people, I want to thank you from a Buki for joining, or Buki Farmer for joining. Thank you the Hillsgram for joining. Thank you so much Angie for joining and for all the response that you made. Thank you Azuka, my guy from CVA Multi-Services for joining. Thank you so much Dr. Shegun for joining and re-echoing. Shegun said you must build capacity. Yes. You must build capacity. Thank you so much, Victory Gelugo. It's a relationship will give you access to industry information. So true, which is absolutely fantastic. Thank you for joining. Dr. Shegun says the Agribusiness guy. Yes, that's me. I'm the go-to guy. Right? Thank you, Jupiter, for hanging on and for staying there. Thank you so much for joining. So if there is no question on the platform, I honestly want to thank you for today. Please, I want you to share this video to other people. Share it on your WhatsApp, your Instagram story, or your YouTube. Share it to other people that you know that truly needs this information and they will be blessed by this information. All right, thank you so much, everybody. I hope that we can do this some other time again. I may probably just go back to inviting guests in our next live, but I hope that we can do this and connect more. Thank you so much. My name is Alfred Ukane. Feel free to send me a DM. Feel free to connect with me at any single time. And if you are not following me, please follow me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel to get more of this, and then follow me on Instagram to get more of this. If you want to take any of my online courses, send me a DM. If you want anything you have, a business idea, something you need clarity on, send me a DM, right? Buki Farmer says we'll meet on your DM, sir. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a good night rest. Love you.